Hey, let's be honest. We all have moments sometimes when we feel lazy, unmotivated, when we just don't feel like doing anything, especially the things we should be doing. But I guess that you're here because you have these moments maybe a bit too often, or maybe not so often, but when they happen, you don't know how to get yourself out of it. And that's why I want to share with you these 3 tips that will help you stop being lazy. Hey, this is Thomas from okitsnotenough.com, helping you become the best version of yourself and create a more exciting and more fulfilling life. And it's impossible to do that if you're being lazy. And that's why I put together these 3 tips that, if applied, will help you overcome that paralyzing feeling of laziness in the moments when you need to get going and when you need to get on with your project and just do the things that you should be doing. So let's dive straight into it. The first tip is stop debating whether you should be doing something or not. The next time when you're lazy, pay attention to what's going on in your head. I bet you that there is a dialogue or even an argument going on where the good and conscientious part of you is arguing that the reasons why you should get up and why you should get on with doing what you need to be doing, and where the lazy part of you has all the great reasons and ideas why you should totally not move a finger. And as you know, this battle is really hard to win. The trick is to not even start debating it. Just shush the lazy voice. What really helps me to avoid this argument is I imagine that the good part of me, the productive one, the committed one, almost has a remote control to my behavior, and it's controlling me to get up and do what I need to be doing. And I really imagine that I have no control over it. But the key here is to not start the dialogue, the argument in the first place. So when you hear that little voice starting to whisper in your ear, hey, you still have time, or do something more fun, you don't feel like it, you're not good at this, just go shh, 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 or no, shut the hell up. Prevent that from going on, because hey, at the end of the day, it's you speaking, right? It's your inner voice talking to you. So don't get into that conversation in the first place. The second tip is to gain some momentum. Hey, have you ever tried to push a car or some really heavy trolley? If you have, you probably know that getting it in the motion is the hardest part. Once it's moving, it gets much easier. And it's the same with the tasks that you need to get done. So my second tip really is to just start for 5 or 10 or 15 minutes. Take the first step, get some momentum. If you're planning to go running, just put your trainers on. If you need to work on your presentations, just open the PowerPoint. Just take the first step and do something. Once you get over the first hump, once you get the thing in motion, it will become so much easier. You'll be amazed that as soon as you start, continuing will actually become so much easier, and stopping and quitting will become a little bit harder. So that's the second tip. Just start, just get moving, do something, take the smallest step. And the third tip may sound a little bit weird, but hear me out. I call it overcome the dark side. Let me ask you a question. How much do you like that lazy part of you? Not much, I suppose. I'm sure it's getting you into trouble and angry and upset with yourself. So how would you like to weaken that sucker so it doesn't have any power over you anymore? So if you would, then I have this amazing quick little exercise. But first of all, it's important that you see that lazy part of you almost as a separate entity, almost like a separate part of you. So here is the first step. Take a moment and write down everything that is upsetting you, annoying you, irritating you, disgusting you and infuriating you about you when you're lazy. Write down all the trouble that laziness has got you into. Hey, take your time with this exercise, whether it takes 5, 10, 15 minutes, That's totally okay, but it's important that you let it all out. And hey, don't hold back. Really let it all out. Use the colorful language that you have, all the profanities and everything. Let the emotion out. All right, all the negative emotion. I really want you to get pissed off with yourself when you are lazy. Now, this was the first step. The second step is the opposite. I'd like you to fantasize and imagine how amazing it would be if you were not lazy at all, if you were ultra disciplined and ultra productive. How would you feel about yourself? How would you utilize all the time and the productivity? What could you achieve and what would you work on? Who could you become? Write it all down, really fantasize and imagine and let yourself go and let your imagination go. It will feel amazing. And when you're done with this exercise, this is what I want you to do. Look at the contrast between the first part of the exercise when you wrote down everything that your laziness makes you experience and feel, all the anger and upset. And then look at the second part of the exercise on what would be possible, how amazing it would be if you were not lazy at all, if you were super productive and super disciplined. Hey, the bigger the contrast, the better. I really want you to realize that these are two different worlds and both of them are possible. It just comes down to you, what you choose and what you decide that who you want to be. Do you want to be the lazy one or do you want to be the one that can experience all the great things? Now, here is the third part of the exercise. Every time you are on the brink of a decision, whether you'll be lazy or productive, there is a battle of two forces happening in your own head. And the one that wins gets a little stronger and the one that loses gets a little weaker. And what you want to do is to see every one of these moments when you would normally probably give in to laziness as an opportunity to win over the annoying, lazy part of you and make the productive, committed, disciplined side of you a little stronger and the little whingy, lazy part of you a little weaker. I can guarantee you this, it will feel super gratifying every single time that productive side of you wins over the lazy one. And more importantly, winning this battle will become a little easier the next time. So here we go. Hey, overcoming laziness doesn't have to be difficult, doesn't have to be complicated. You need a little bit of a strategy. You need to know what to do, and I've just given it to you. So, hey, don't let this be just some theory, right? Now is the time to be a little bit more productive. So try some of these methods, try some of these exercises and see what impact it will have on your productivity. And hey, leave me a comment whether it worked for you. Maybe you use different things to get unstuck, to overcome laziness, to get more motivated. I'd love to hear that from you. So leave me a comment and also don't forget to subscribe by hitting that little button there. And thank you for watching. I hope it's been useful and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.